Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to HOTFIX, which of course is the awesome Unit Lost video game podcast of maximum worth. But it's all about the news, and as I do every week, it is the laser-focused podcast. It is not like the podcast that we do, which is a load of crap, where we just talk about games that we've played. We actually talk about news, and do you want to do it this week, Kiri? I know you like it.
Wait to big up the other podcast as well, which is a load of crap.
I mean, it's high quality
Worst
content.
salesman ever. You're doing it. You're doing the laser focus thing, and you've got to do it really
It's laser
well.
focused.
Yeah.
I just did it.
That'll do.
Kirioth can take
That'll
care
do.
of the rest of the garbage.
Slightly.
Basically,
You could have been better, given your current record of total crap for the other show, but I'll let it stand.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we need to do at the start of every HOTFIX is thank the supporters of the Patreon. Now, this is, of course, patreon.com/HOTFIX. You can go there and support the show. There's also a link up the corner, a little card thing, which you can click on, which will also send you there. And did I say there was a link in the description? There is a link in the description. So, a bit of a shout out to Flash McRocket, thank you for the support. Sam Scott, thank you for the support. Max Johnston, which is a quality name, thank you for the support. And I think there was a couple that I missed, so I think Jordan Martin, thanks for the support. Or Martin even. Alexandra K and Torches, I think. And if I've missed anybody else, spam me over Patreon and I will make sure I get you, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta be honest. The one name that stuck out for me was Flash McRocket. Flash McRocket. That's an awesome name right there.
But then like, you just get people who just use their name. It's like, you got Flash McRocket, then you've got Bob Winston. I've made that up. I didn't want to read
Flash McRocket and Bob.
Right, ladies and gentlemen.
Patreon supporters for Unit Lost.
As you can probably tell, we've got a guest this week, which is good. It's Mr. Rurikhan. Now, he's been here before.
So I'm at your left side, right side.
So
okay.
Yeah, you're over there.
I'm just making sure. If I look this way, I'm looking at you.
Well, you're looking at Kiri because we're in a line, and then you look at me.
Oh,
Yeah, we're like,
I'm just going to look forward because that's less confusing.
I can't see because I ain't got my glasses on. Okay, so we all know who Rui is. Whatever, he can promote himself later. Let's get stuck into HOTFIX. So, I'm going to change the scene. Actually, I may have broke this. I never checked. Please work.
Did you break
Please
it?
work. Please work. Please work.
How long does it take you to change a scene? What are you doing?
No, it's
right
okay.
now,
It's okay. It's okay. It was a black screen for. Oh, look, I shouldn't play. There we go.
It takes about as long as a Bloodborne load time. Come on now, Stein.
I thought they fixed that. Okay. All right then. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So you can pull faces now, Rui, if you'd like, because we've got full screen monitor thingy of not your face.
Oh.
So I've seen that, and I don't know why I'm looking into the camera. Anyway, right, Splatoon. Okay, so the reviews have come out on Splatoon, and as I'm looking at the Reddit post here, where some chap's gone together and collated all of the reviews, it looks like it's got some fairly strong reviews. But there is one thing which seems to be slightly dodgy. Now, I must say before I can't really speak from experience on this because I've not played the game, but they are saying there is not enough content in the game. The game is extremely bare bones, yeah. And there's a lot of comparisons with Titanfall and Destiny and stuff like that. However, I'm just going to show a little bit of gameplay off from Rui because we're just going to steal it off his channel, and we'll let Rui tell us about this game because I know you've played it.
Yeah, just a quick tip on that gameplay. Make sure you select the portions where there's actual gameplay because a big part of that video is just me sitting in a lobby.
I mean, is that a problem? Is that a problem then?
No, it's not a problem. The reason why that happened is because there's going to be two different versions of Splatoon. So the version I got right there was the pre-release version. So not a lot of people had access to it. So there weren't that many people playing, which was very annoying when you were trying to actually review it. But so the thing about Splatoon is that there's currently only 5 maps and like 2 or 3 different game modes. I don't know exactly how many because I didn't get to play the ranked stuff. But the reasoning behind that is because they're working on it almost like if it was a free-to-play title. And I understand why, because they're going to need people to keep coming back to this game. So they're kind of... I don't think it's the fact that they don't have the content ready. I think they do have the content. They don't want to put it all out so that they can keep the community coming back. Because if this game goes the route of, let's say, people play it super hardcore for the first 2 weeks and get bored, the game's going to die out super fast because the only thing that really matters.
But isn't that the way it's going to go, though? Isn't that the way every game goes?
I don't know that I think that is why Nintendo is holding a bit of the content back so that they can try to tease people into coming back to the game later on with like, oh, we got this new content, we got this new weapon type, we got this new map, all of that stuff, and then people hopefully will come back. Because the game's got a single player mode, but it's not its main focus. It's a little bit of a action platforming thing where you can play around with the mechanics of ink and stuff.
Yeah.
But the real meat of the game is going to be the multiplayer matches. The basic one is Turf War, where you just have to paint as much of the map as possible. But then in ranked modes, you have different types of matches where you have to like control a square or something, and it's all dictated by the amount of ink that you spread throughout the map. But the gameplay is actually really fun. Because the whole thing about you switching into a little kid mode, shoot people around, and then go into little squid and swim through the ink, it's a lot of fun. I mean, you guys have seen some of the footage, I'm assuming. At least.
Oh yeah, no, I can see like with the squid where you seem to have like increased movement speed when you dive into the. I'm guessing your color ink. You can't do it through theirs.
Yeah, you have increased movement speed, and you have to do it because ink is limited. So every now and then, you have to dive into your own ink, and that recharges the amount of ink that you can put out.
So this is kind of like I guess this is Turf War mode or something, because you seem to be trying to put your ink all over the map and get rid of theirs. I mean, I'll be honest, right? Let's go back to our sexual faces. I'll be honest, this looks pretty fucking... It looks good. I'm going to just say it looks good. And I've said this before, and I know it's a disgusting bombshell to our fans, but the Wii U is like the best console I've got. This Xbox and this PS4 are a bag of crap, right? That is a bit harsh, because they've had obviously there's been Bloodborne on the PS4, and there's like the Xbox does nothing. But the Wii U, that's where I've played games that I've genuinely had fun with. If I ignore my hate towards Nintendo, give it me.
I have a bit of a counter argument to that, which is a lot of people are hating on the PS4, and most of those people are PC gamers. And
because the games are on PC. I'm going to play them on PS4.
But my question is, if you have a PC, in all honesty, you don't really need the PS4 all that much. Like,
no,
you don't need it. Most of the games are, in fact, on the PC. The PS4 is for people that don't have the PC and don't want to spend like 2,000 euros or dollars on a super powerful computer to play all the latest and greatest. So that's kind of my counter argument.
That's something that I thought about the other day, where I was thinking to myself, me and Kat, we need to play through Assassin's Creed Unity. We need to play through that. That was not too bad in the end. And then I thought, I've got it on my PC, but it means sitting up here in the office instead of sitting downstairs.
That game for?
So should I get it for the PS4? And then I thought, well, no, because I've already got it. What's the point in moving a PS4? What's the point in messing about with the PS4? If I could just use the thing I've got right here instead of messing about, that's all the stuff on the PS4 I can play on here, and the stuff I don't play on the PS4 is stuff that I don't think I play anyway. So it's like, it's kind of a pointless console.
The PS4 also has a convenience factor to it, which you can like take it everywhere. Like a lot of times I'll go to a friend's house, I'll take my PS4 and we'll play multiplayer games. It's a lot more convenient than taking my big ass PC, my keyboard, my mouse. Call me whatever you want, I don't care.
No, but I mean,
also,
honestly, the PS4. Good, well, the thing is, if I rank them all, obviously you all know what I am. You know, I play on PC predominantly, but the PS4. The Xbox is definitely below the PS4 for me. I mean, the PS4, it gave me Bloodborne, Rui, so I must thank it for that. But that's about it. That's what it really gave. It gave me... What else have I actually... I don't think I've actually... I don't even know. Anyway, this isn't the thing. The thing we're talking about is Splatoon. Splatoon. Although actually, I'm such a scatterbrain that
you were talking
with
about
you going on about... No, I know what I was talking about. But with you going on about, like, there not being... Like, you may as well have a PC instead of a PS4. If you've got a PS4, if you've got a PC, there's no point having a PS4 to some degree. I'm pretty sure there was something they were going on about. Sony was saying that they have been a bit disappointed with their exclusive lineup for this year, and they've said that it's a year of like building. You know, they're looking forward to the future and all this crap.
It's been a weak lineup. It's not been that great. I mean.
Well, E3 is just going to be,
again,
God of War remastered. Woo!
If you're just looking at the exclusives, like I said, I mean, it's not a great console, but like I play all kinds of stuff in there because I just like the convenience. So I'll take this into my living room, whatever. That's the main reason, because most of the games I also have on the PC.
Yeah, well, it is all right though. I mean, it's like The Witcher, for example. You know, The Witcher 3. I'm just playing that on my PC. There's no way I'm going to play that on a filthy console. But then, like, whatever. Let's move on. So Splatoon, okay.
Splatoon. You were saying that the Wii U is your favorite console.
I
and
was.
I'm
I
assuming
was.
you were going to make a point about how Nintendo's got the most exclusives or something like that.
Well, that their games are genuinely quite fun. That's all I'm going to say.
They are.
Right?
They
and
are.
Splatoon, I've not played it, but when I look at it and I look at this footage and I've seen the streams of it, I'm like, this actually does look quite fun. Like, this looks like something I could play, you know what I mean? And have like a good time playing it. But, you know, I can't help but think of my experiences with games like, well, Titanfall's the best example. I really liked Titanfall, right? I mean, okay, it was easy. The weapons had no recoil, and you know the movement was all right. You know, the bit of parkour aspect they had in the Titans was interesting and stuff. But I think I played it for a week and then never touched it again. And that was because there was no content. Now, if you look at how much content is in a game like Titanfall compared to Splatoon, Splatoon is extremely light, even compared to Titanfall, which was considered a joke in terms of content. So, I mean, what are they going to do? We've got E3 coming around the corner, haven't we? Are they going to go into E3 with, like, announcements on content for Splatoon? Probably. That's going to be free content because it's content that should have been in the game when it launched. Because doesn't Nintendo traditionally launch games that are complete? Not like with nothing in them?
It's what I've been telling you though, Sty. I mean, you basically Nintendo needs to give people a reason to keep coming back to this game to avoid what happened to Titanfall. What happened with Titanfall, people play the shit out of it and it's like, okay, we've done everything, we're done, and they left and the game was dead from there on out as far as I'm concerned.
It seems kind of similar in a way though to Destiny, where it is like, oh, this is really good. I'm going to play this. I played it for 2 weeks. Oh, look, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. There's nothing new. There's nothing interesting. What do I do now? Oh, well, I'll stop playing. Is there not like a genuine risk of them just falling into exactly the same trap by making it light?
There is. There's absolutely that risk. So as there's a risk in any decision they make in regards to this game. It's like if they put all the content out, there's the risk people will devour it and be done with it. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but like the ranked mode isn't even going to be available when the game launches. So the only mode that you can play once it launches is Turf War. Is the only mode that's going to be available for multiplayer.
So how is gating the content then?
How is the multiplayer in terms of like? I've seen people moaning about the way it works. I have no idea how it works.
The way it works, I mean, you go into a lobby and you queue for a match. It gets 8 people in, and you go fight 4-on-4. That's it.
So it's like Super Mario Kart when you get matched with people from fucking Brazil, and you're like, why has this guy got a ping of 8 million? And he's all over the place.
I didn't really have any lag problems when I played Splatoon, so I'm assuming they might have region servers, and I kind of think they need to, because in a game like this, the game just runs so fast. The ink needs to be spot on, otherwise it's going to be a friggin' lag fest. It's
basically an FPS game, but I don't know. Like I think it is a game I want to play. I don't have it yet though, but it's something I'm looking forward to. I thought it'd be interesting because, as a topic for HOTFIX, because if we look at like, if I just jump back to the monitor screen and we look at all of these collated review scores, they are pretty good for the game. But as I say, they all do generally say there isn't enough content in the game, and I guess you agree with that, Rue. Yeah. But also you do say that the game is pretty good, which. Yeah.
It's pretty good. Like right now, there's only 3 weapon types, but the thing about Splatoon is that you have your main weapon, then you have a sub-weapon, and then you have a special weapon. And what they do is they grab those 3 weapon types and they pair them up with different subs and specials so that you kind of make a build, so to speak, for your little inkling thing. And the variety is actually quite a bit when you take that in consideration, because you can have like the roller weapon, for instance, and you can have completely different grenades, and you can have the ink strike, which is like an ion cannon full of ink in the middle of the map. Or you can have the ink Zuka, and there's a lot of variety in the kind of stuff that you can get. And that is what makes it fun. Like I really enjoy playing with the roller because it's so satisfying when someone's like
you just bash somebody's head in with it or something.
When someone is like in their ink and I'm just rolling through, some people still don't know because they're new to the game. So just like you splat through them right on, just it's so much fun. It's so satisfying to splat someone with an ink roller, just like get splatted, son, like steamrolled, you know?
God.
So yeah, it's just the thing about that game for me is that it's just a lot of fun. And I think a lot of people are going to look at Splatoon and they're going to be like, oh, this is some kind of a child's game, obviously, because of this art style and whatnot. And it's just, those are most of Nintendo's games' art style.
That's the way they look,
yeah. They just go for that art style, but the mechanics are there. The mechanics are solid, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of fun. Honestly, guys, I anybody who's watching this right now, I mean, just give your comments on what you think this gameplay looks like, because to me, it does look pretty interesting. It looks like it looks fast paced. It looks like you want to get back out there and keep rolling. I mean, you can see Rui's addicted to this roller. It's probably OP. That's why he keeps using it.
Oh no, you can't change weapons in a match. You have to pick that. It's like a loadout thing, and you can only have that weapon throughout the match.
So is it like balanced? Like you can only have so many people with the roller, or could everybody have the roller?
No. I think you can actually. Everybody can have a roller. I've been in matches where at least 3 people had a roller, but the roller is not overpowered, because if you have a roller, you come at me, and I have like the submachine gun thing. I can kill you very easily.
Somebody just mows you down with a little machine gun thing.
And there's also like a sniper rifle type thing, which is pretty beast too.
And there's like a cat. What the hell is that? Anyway, I hate cats.
I guess the thing with that is like when it comes to like content and keeping content flowing and stuff, I don't know if there's even like a good solution for that anyway these days, because no matter what, like whatever game you look at, it's like if you look at say like I mean Destiny's a good example. They didn't have a lot of content when it launched. They've been releasing content since, admittedly not as much as I'd like to have seen, but every time they release a new bit of content, the first thing you see, like within like 3 hours of it being released, is, oh, this group of people just beat all the new content. Done, finished. And it's like, as soon as it gets released, people blast past it, and then they're sat there going, oh, there's no content. Or you just stick it all in at launch, and then people blast through it in the first month and go, oh, there's no content. You can't really win,
there's
can
a
you?
problem with that, though. Destiny's primarily a PvE game. This is PvP multiplayer. And if you look at games like... if you go back to my Titanfall example, the reason why Titanfall wasn't... basically ran out of steam is... And I kind of hate myself for saying this, but it wasn't Call of Duty enough. Like, it didn't have enough unlocks. It didn't have enough like progression or things to actually force you to keep playing.
Yeah,
it had
a lot of players like that nowadays.
Well, I found myself... It's a bit sick that I admit this, but I found like myself actually wanting that in Titanfall to keep me playing, because after a bit, once everybody...
But it's a tangible reward, isn't it?
Well, it's a reason to keep playing, isn't it? That's the thing. Like, so...
It's a reason to be on a treadmill.
And it's sad, but people want to be on a fucking treadmill.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those systems, but what I can say about the content strategy for Splatoon is that it's almost like it's a free-to-play game without microtransactions, because even the items that you can buy on the stores, they change every day. So like you can't buy the same item 2 days in a row, because it's probably going to be randomized. It's not going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
So a lot of this stuff is like based around things that happen at a certain time schedule. Like I think every 4 hours they change the map rotation too. Even though they only have 5 maps to rotate from right now, every 4 hours they change, and they're like, okay, right now these 2 maps are what you can play in Turf War, and these 2 maps are what you can play in ranked mode. And then they change that up 4 hours from now, and it's be like, oh, now these 2 maps are the ones for Turf War, these are the ones for ranked mode. So it seems that there's an infrastructure there to support like a ton of maps, so that it actually changes. But they're just not there yet. So yeah, but I've been hearing a lot of stuff from Nintendo that they're saying there's going to be a ton of content that's just going to be released post, so that they want to keep people interested, is my conclusion.
Well, let's hope they do. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to live or die by that, that's for sure.
Well, that's the thing, because people will get bored of the maps, and they want different maps, different game modes, and all of that stuff constantly coming out, new weapons, and God knows what. Okay, so we're going to go over to the next bit of thing, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm actually reading about. This is Twitch, and this was kind of interesting, because what they've said now is you cannot stream adult-orientated games, or AO games, okay? And what they're saying is, it is our goal at Twitch to create a safe, welcoming, inclusive community platform where everyone can feel comfortable and have fun. From time to time, we update our rules of conduct and blah, 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 blah. And, basically what they're saying is there's a list of games, which I'll just bring up, which was
there's
pretty
actually
funny.
a list?
Oh, yeah. So we've got... I bet Rumi knows about these games because he looks like the type who plays them. So,
not really.
F, A Fairy Tale of the Two. It's a joke, Rumi. This contains blood, nudity, sexual violence, strong language, and strong sexual content. And guess what? It's a fucking visual novel from Japan. Who would have thought it? Next up, Seduce Me. Strong sexual content.
That just sounds so obvious there. Seduce Me.
Manhunt 2, which is... Okay.
I take it that's probably for the violence, because Manhunt is supposed to be a really violent video game.
Yeah.
So tell me something. Is
is.
that black and white game from the Wii? Is that not here? Mad World? Can you play Mad World?
I don't know. I'm just going down the list. So we've got Playboy the Mansion,
but
Private
listen.
Party.
Sex, not okay. Chainsawing someone in half, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly acceptable. No problems there.
I don't see what your problem is.
It just seems to be like sexual violence that they're banning. But
San Andreas, you can't play GTA San Andreas.
Yeah, so you can, right? Now they got out of this because I've got their little Twitter thing. Somebody asked them, right? They said, what the hell, we can't play San Andreas because people do speedruns of that on Twitch. And they said, for clarification, versions of games that are currently rated M for mature, such as GTA San Andreas or Indigo Prophecy, are fine to stream. So then that would beg the question, well, why the hell is it rated AO? Well, I know why. Because it actually does contain content which is not hidden. It's in the game, but it's not. You can't access it without a mod, basically.
Yeah, it was that hot coffee mod, wasn't it? It was mature until was it that one where it was mature until that came to light, and it was like you can do this in this game. At which point the rating was changed to
it was like
adult only because it was like, okay, well this has crossed the line.
I have a question. Why is Witcher 3 not on this list?
Yeah, we were going to get.
I just had a sex scene not so long ago, like full blown boobs on screen, everything, and it's like, I'll tell you why it's not on the list, because it's popular as all hell and it brings in crowds, and it's like, well, Witcher 3 is bringing in a lot of crowds, so let's not touch that.
But
this is also why they're not touching on Witcher 2 and Witcher 1.
Exactly. And like Kiri wants to say, and I know he wants to say this, but Hatred, that comes out next week. You know what that is, right, Ruby? Hatred?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Funny that, isn't it?
That comes out next week, and that's just about killing, well, it's just about being a trench coat mafia-style guy, killing people in the street.
I remember a dude shoving his shotgun into an innocent bystander's mouth and just blowing it wide open. So,
yeah. It's I'd say it's interesting that they decided to update these rules a week before Hatred comes out, given that that's going to be a storm of controversy when it releases.
Hatred's not on this list, is it?
No.
Not yet.
Because it's not rated. This was the other thing, Rui. It's got no rating. So if it's not rated by
this is the thing.
ESRB, then what is it?
Hatred at the moment, apparently Hatred is rated. I don't know why it's not showing up on the list on the ESRB ratings list, but apparently it will be awarded an adult-only rating when it's released. But you can just release another version of the game unrated. There's not really anything to prevent that. As someone on Reddit points out.
What?
But the fact is that if you do that, if you do like a unrated edition, then Twitch would then have to ban the game anyway. But then it opens up a whole kind of thing of, well, they're not doing it because it's against them as a service. They're doing it because they don't like the game. In which case, should they even be allowed to do it? I'd be surprised if they did something like that. But to be honest, it's just a bit like hypocritical all the way through, because they're just picking and choosing whatever they please. Saying we are doing this as rules of conduct. Oh, it's all about people having a friendly environment. It's like, well, yeah, I suppose you could argue that if it wasn't for the fact that you exclude specific games that have got specific scenes that actually do everything you're complaining about.
So,
and
like what Rui said about The Witcher 3, why? Explain to me how this is not adult-only content. When a deformed hag walks up to me and says she wants to bed me, and I tell her I'm not here for that, and then she says I'm going to suck every last drop out of you. Exactly what does that mean? And how is that not adult-only entertainment there? Excuse me. And like Rui said, there's full-blown sex scenes anyway, and people walking around naked. The language is disgraceful. There's murder, there's rape, there's paedophilia, there's all kinds of shit. How is that game not banned? Like Rui said, because it's the most popular thing on the fucking website at the moment, basically, and the biggest launch of the fucking year. It's like... Excuse me?
Like it's like Kirioth said, they're being extremely hypocritical. And to be honest, Twitch right now has their head so far up their own ass. It's just not even funny. Like their servers, like I told you earlier, their servers are just bad at the moment, in my opinion. And on top of that, didn't they recently also disallow female streamers from wearing cleavage? They disallowed male streamers from
you can't take your top
wearing,
off,
Yeah, you can't.
I used to stream like that all the time. Like I'm fucking ripped. Like
because you're ripped. Right? You're so ripped.
I used to get 20,000 viewers. Like, I'm doing some weights.
Listen, I don't stream with the top off, but I would like to stream with some cleavage. And I guess I wonder if male streamers are allowed to cleavage. Or is that not acceptable?
Surely
I
that'd
can
be fine.
just squeeze my man boobs.
Surely that'd be fine. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Oh man, we can't put this on Twitch anymore because I squeezed my man boobs. It's not acceptable.
You know
It's
that-
adult only.
It is like a wider problem though with Twitch. Like, Twitch is for streaming games, okay, but there is like, I noticed people getting quite angry at Twitch for allowing things like creative streams. Now, I do a lot of this. I stream modelling of like Warhammer models and stuff. Twitch have officially said to me that is fine because it's a game. You know, it's no different than streaming Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. It's still actual gaming content. Where they draw the line is if somebody was to stream themselves, like on this stupid fucking Periscope app that I've been streaming myself, sitting there drinking tea. There's no gaming content in that. I'm just like, hello, I'm drinking tea, and it's really weird. That would not be a stream on Twitch because there's no gaming content or it's not linked to game. Or if you were going to stream yourself doing some gardening or something, or fixing your car or something completely non-gaming related, then that's pretty bad. But apparently partners can stream that stuff to a certain degree, provided it's under 10% of their weekly output. But if you're not a partner, you can't. And I don't know where that comes from. So I could stream nothing, which is just completely unrelated gaming because I'm a Twitch partner, and somebody who isn't couldn't do that. It's very weird. Twitch is very weird. Like,
You know why that is?
They've got a daft system where they kind of pick and choose what they want to, what they want, but they can't justify it with rules, but the rules only apply to certain people, because for other people it's fine to do what they want because they're popular enough that, you know, they can get away with it. It's not great, to be honest.
Look, I'd love to get into a big rant about Twitch
Do
because
it.
of the way that I really
Do it!
because, like, listen, I've been a TGN partner in the past, and then I joined Polaris, and then I left Polaris.
fuck
went back to
Polaris.
TGN,
We're
right?
still in Polaris, but fuck Polaris.
So basically what happened was when I was with TGN, the people at TGN, they hooked me up with a Twitch partnership. So then I joined Polaris, and I told them that I had left TGN. And they're like, oh, we sent all your payment to TGN and we're not going to pay you. And they cut off my partnership immediately the second I told them I wasn't with TGN again. That's how I got treated. And then I was like, okay. So then I go talk with Polaris and they tell them to give me a partnership again. They give me a partnership again, and now I've left Polaris. I'm even scared to talk to them because I just want to have, like, I haven't even made any money. They've never paid me a dime on Twitch. And I'm even scared because I just want to keep the resolution options if I ever want to stream on Twitch. That's the only thing I care about. I don't care about money anymore. I don't even do the announcement, the ads, anything. It's all garbage. And it's just like, I think they don't treat their talent properly. I was told that when Twitch first started, that they were really respectful towards the people who were streaming there and stuff. And now they just seem like, we don't give a fuck. It's like, we don't want cleavage. We don't want tank tops. We don't want this. We don't want these games. I'm looking at some of these games. It's like, Wet the Sexy Empire. Are you serious? There's not even nudity in that goddamn game. Are you freaking serious? Like, what the? You can't show bathing suits online now. Oh, come on.
Something that I will say, though, there is like, in a way, admittedly, they're rules, which is the whole, you know, no sitting around in your underwear. That's fine because I say that's fine. They're kind of clearly attempting to make it so that it's not some sort of cam girl situation.
Yeah.
But
I'm in my underwear right now, Kirioth.
There is still instances of that happening anyway. Baby. That happens anyway. There was a big thing on the Dota subreddit because a guy was basically restreaming someone else's stream. And he was sat there going, guys, what the hell is this? This is terrible. Like, a fairly well-known Dota player was streaming a girl who was playing Dota in a window that was, like, that big on the screen, and the rest of it was her. And every time she got a subscriber, she rolled a dice to perform an action. And when she rolled the dice, she deliberately rolled the dice on the floor so she could stand up and bend over in her tight trousers so the stream could see it. Now, that's not playing games. That's not Twitch material. That's someone pretending to play a game so they can essentially just be a cam girl without having to sign up to a cam girl site. In that respect, you can understand why Twitch would try and crack down on it, because it looks shitty. Like, it looks like you go to Twitch for gaming content and there's some woman wandering around in, like, skin-tight trousers and heels going, "Ooh, I dropped my dice." It's like people are going to look at that and go, what the fuck is this doing on this website? But they haven't actually stopped that, because that happened, like, last week. And instead, they're like, no adults only, no sitting there without a shirt on, but people can still do that because we haven't specifically said they can't. We've just banned everything else. But then again, you can probably do it anyway as long as you're big enough, so it's fine. It's just really shit. It's like a terrible catch-all kind of ruling that they don't apply to everyone anyway, that doesn't stop the behaviour they're trying to stop to begin with. So what is the point? Like, I I don't get it. It just gets irritating when they do stuff like that because it's like it doesn't work. So what's the point?
Let me tell you why that happens. You know that girl that you're talking about that rolls the dice and leans over and whatever. So if that girl is getting an average of 100 concurrent viewers, ban her. If she's getting an average of 10,000 viewers, support her. It's that simple. I can tell you, it is that simple. I guarantee you, they will not shut down a 10,000 viewer stream, no matter what the fuck they're doing. Unless it's like explicit porn, then they might have to. Which,
hey, maybe there could be a market opportunity for us there.
But like, why are you looking at me like that? Stop! You're making me scared. But on another note, like I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but like for instance, when the PlayStation 4 launched, they had like their own little live streaming service.
Oh god,
that's
yeah,
basically
I see
what happened.
Yeah,
people were just like
the playroom, but it was the fucking playroom, all right.
Just having sex is what they were doing on the live stream. So obviously Sony had to come in and like, hey guys, this is not okay. We don't want to be a porn live stream here.
You know what the problem is, right? The reason you've got all of these changes coming into Twitch is because they don't know how to manage this site because there's too many people. Like growth just keeps getting bigger and bigger with the site, and because it's live as well. So this presents all kinds of problems because you cannot monitor every stream. Like I get Twitch admins and moderators from Twitch in my stream now watching me, yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is a result of because they told me I should not be using copyrighted music. Now I obviously understand I shouldn't be using copyrighted music on a stream. But when I'm streaming to maybe 500-600 people as I'm, doing my modeling or whatever, and I've got some music on in the background, I don't want to sit there in silence, do I? So I thought a little bit of music might help the situation. But I was told, no, that's not what you should be doing, sir. And I'm like, okay. So then I started playing like OC Remix, copyright free stuff, which is fine, and that's fine. But I know they've got problems with other streamers. Like if you look at massive streamers, this comes back to your argument again. Like if you've got 10,000 plus views, it's fine.
Yeah.
You go to their website right now, you will find somebody streaming League of Legends to fucking 20,000 people playing Iron Maiden or
Pendulum.
something. Yeah, and it's like,
fine.
Well, what's going on here? Like, why have I been messaged? Okay, well, it's not even okay. It's just
simple.
like, it's weird. But what I will say about them though, every bit of contact I've had with Twitch has been okay, and I compare this to my dealings with YouTube, and I don't like the way networks operate on YouTube, but I like having a direct contact with people at Twitch. I've got direct contacts with people at YouTube, but they're only for emergency situations when basically every time it's an emergency situation when something goes wrong with the network, because the network takes about 3 weeks to actually fucking respond to you because they're shit, and they give them like, what, 10% of my fucking money for nothing? The rant is getting real now.
I don't think you're allowed to reveal your percentages. I think that goes against your contract stuff.
You don't. Kiss my arse. It's like, what do you even get, for that? You get nothing. It's just disgusting. But Twitch are okay, but Twitch are, I don't know.
I think they've grown at such like a staggering rate that they kind of started this thing that was good and they liked it and they could deal with it. And then suddenly it's exploded, and then they got bought for like $1 billion, and they kind of sat there on this huge thing that's kind of grown underneath them, and they're like, oh shit, how the hell do we even keep tabs on all of this? It's basically the same principle as YouTube. It's like YouTube's rules are totally shit, and the way they approach channels like that steal other people's content and stuff, all of that is totally shit because it's too big. It's far too big for them to actually handle themselves.
The way they deal with that is
all
these networks. Yeah, they put all the networks in place and let the networks deal with all the trash, and of course the networks, 99% of them don't give a shit because they're just creaming earning and revenue off people. And
all the networks fall into the same trap again anyway. So it's like YouTube has delegated it to their automated systems and to networks. Networks are like, okay, so we can take a percentage of the earnings if we do this. Awesome, let's get as many channels as we can. Also, and then funnily enough, suddenly they haven't got enough people to deal with the fact that they're dealing with like 400 channels, and then they're like, well, we've got 5 people working here. What the fuck are we supposed to do now? And it's just the same thing. It's just repeated cycles over and over again. Yeah. And then we just sit there as the content creators going, could someone please sort this out?
You want to talk about Polaris? I'll tell you about Polaris, right? I'll tell you about them. They were good. They were okay, right, for a period of time. That's what, like, when Kiri just alluded to that, the fact when they actually had staff. Then they started to fire everybody, right? Because cost-cutting exercise, we can make more money. Well, you don't have to deal with these idiots. We'll just let them dribble around. So now, all they do is deal with the largest channels in the network, and everybody else is just a stain who just earns them money for no reason.
Well, we had that thing where there was that channel that was automatically taking our videos and re-uploading it on a different channel.
Yeah.
And we were like, what the fuck is this? And we immediately were like, do you want to sort this out straight away? We can't have this because these videos are actually getting views. Some of them are literally taking away views that our videos should have got, but these videos that have been ripped and then re-uploaded with a different title, we're getting the views instead. So it was like, any chance you could sort this out? Nothing for weeks. And then eventually you just get in touch with your guy at YouTube. You're like, seriously, this is getting ridiculous. It fucking goes same day.
Yeah,
I mean, funny that,
about
isn't
20
it? It's
minutes.
just like, it just went straight away.
Yeah, fucking hell. Give me a job, YouTube. Anyway.
I'm not going to get in on that rant because I left Polaris in good terms, and
really, I like them. And also, for the record, you can state
competition right now.
Who cares? So... You can state your revenue percentage split, but not the actual like what it's worth.
Oh,
according to my contract, anyway. Because I know about the inside out of my contract because I spent ages fucking changing it and getting angry with them arseholes. It annoys me. Fucking out, Kiri. I'm sick of this shit. Most games that we make content on anyway, right? They allow you to monetize their shit. You don't even need the network.
It's entirely true. It's
God. Thus ends the rant.
Yeah.
So anyway, on Twitch with their yeah, but let's move on. So that was awesome. Let's go
we will soon be without a network, probably, if they see that.
Yeah, if you keep going that way.
Yeah, it don't matter. I'll just stream on Twitch now anyway. So we go to we don't want to look at that. Ah, yes, League of Legends. This is interesting, right? Because we all know League of Legends has got the worst community of any game that has ever been invented, ever. And it is the worst. So, Riot have long been interested in making sure League of Legends provides a fun and welcoming environment. Lie. And the new system being tested in the European Union, so that's... Well, it won't be us. It won't be us, will it? Because our country's just going to leave it. Anyway, we'll be able to punish players for negative behaviour instantly. So this is what they say. The system's initial tests in the EU, I'll correct your diabolical grammar there, Mr. PR man, kick off today and take aim at verbal harassment. The blog post states. The system delivers reform cards, notifications that link evidence of negative behaviour with the appropriate punishment that help players address their negative behaviour. Okay. Your reports help the instant feedback system understand and punish the kind of verbal harassment the community actively rejects. Homophobia, racism, sexism, death threats, of all of which you just get in every game of League of Legends, and other forms of excessive abuse. The new system will move quick though. And apparently, players will be punished within a 2-week or permanent ban within 15 minutes of the end of a match. Which, okay. But then they go on to say, finally, the player behaviour team will be on deck, hand reviewing the first 1,000 cases, or the first few thousand cases, the instant feedback system sorts through. If the test goes smoothly, we expect instant feedback to roll out to all regions shortly. Like we mentioned up top, this test marks the beginning for instant feedback. Upgrades will allow it to shoulder more reform and punishment responsibilities and even reward positive play.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that Riot is basically shooting themselves in the foot, because what's going to happen here is, let me just tell, from my experience in League of Legends, they're going to lose like half their player base within once they implement this. They're going to lose half their player base.
Come on.
No, I'm going to be generous here and go with half. Okay. But even if they just lose half, take notice of something very, very important. You guys know when Heroes of the Storm launches?
Yes.
June 2nd. Okay. So what's going to happen is they lose half of their player base. Those players start playing Heroes of the Storm. And then they realize, oh, this is so much better. Fuck that other game. And yeah.
Delusional. Really.
They join Heroes of the Storm and immediately start being racist and offensive and horrendous, and then they get banned off that as well, you mean? That is absolutely... It's not gonna change anything. It never changes anything.
So remember the tribunal. Remember the tribunal. I remember that. Do you remember that, Rue? The tribunal.
Listen. Yeah, I remember the tribunal.
Yeah.
Listen, this system is basically another content ID match system just waiting to happen. Because every time you put something automatic in place, there's no fucking humans looking at it. Let's just say, look, I could be playing with you guys, and we could just be having fun, and we could just be talking shit to each other, and someone on our team reports us, and they see the chat, and we're being like verbally abusive towards each other, because, you know, we tend to do that for fun. And the system's going to be like, yep, this is completely inappropriate. Ban these people, and we're like, what?
It's gonna lock out basically all the people who are actually arseholes, all the people who pretend to be arseholes to each other when they're on the same team. I mean, when we used to play LOL, we'd sit in TeamSpeak and we would actively insult each other in the chat. Not the people on the team, but we'd sit there and be like, looks is shit or something, just for the sheer hell of it. And the rest of the team would be like, lol, what's going on? It would be like us taking the piss, not out of anyone else, out of each other and ourselves. And that would just be like, systems go, no, fuck you, get out.
Exactly.
Really? We're in a group. We're in a group system. We joined in a fucking group. We were two people. How do you not pick that up? And you know it won't as well. You know it won't. It's not going to pick stuff like that up. So
it's the automated
just going to be
systems.
It's another blanket solution that's just going to fail anyway.
It's a perennial problem with this game, and most, well, pretty much every MOBA game has this issue with just a hate. Like, and it's never normally from the other team. It's your team. It's because they are inherently team-based games. If somebody, I mean, like Heroes of the Storm, for example, most of the maps, well, every map basically depends on objectives, don't they? So if you want to, I don't know, get the doubloons to fire the cannon off, you need to, as soon as they're available, the chests, you need to get and start getting the money. You can't just piss off and do what you like. As the games get, you progress in rank, you get to more higher level games. If you decide to just stay in bot lane while everybody's going after the doubloons like a dick, your team are going to let you know about that, aren't they? They're not going to say, well, hello there, Mr. Illidan in the bot. Would you like to please come and help us? It's going to be, what the fuck are you doing, you bastard? And then we lose the game and it gets aggressive. And it's just a problem these games have got because people, I mean, the League of Legends...
They're very competitive games, basically.
Yeah, they are. And they're team-based games, often played with people. It's very rare, I guess, that you get a full-on team. Most people, you're going to be playing in, like, solo queue, duo queue, or something like that, aren't you? Especially with the League of Legends example. Yeah. I mean, the tribunal system I remember before was a complete load of shit because that just took ages to do anything. This seems like a sped up version of that where it's going to just automatically ban people. On paper sounds okay, but as we've said, it's just like the content ID match system where you're just going to end up with all kinds of people getting banned for no reason.
Context is king,
it will
isn't
happen.
It? There's got to be context for what's being said. And in a way, the tribunal kind of was okay for that because if you had half a brain, you could look at it and go, well, that guy, the highest score on the team, he also only said one word and it wasn't even insulting, therefore this is clearly bullshit reports by a team that's got a problem. Whereas if it's like some system like this, it's just like, yeah, no, you banned, fuck you. I didn't do anything. Exactly. Well, tough shit.
It's
and you
automatic.
banned, it's like, well, all right, fine, cheers, thanks very much.
Anytime there's a fully automated system that handles something like that is important in a negative way,
we get that. I mean, how can they fix this though? This is the biggest problem with that game and with every MOBA. The toxic communities, it's the biggest problem. How do you fix it? It's like, it's such a difficult question.
There's no fixing it.
No.
I'm sorry. I mean, there is no solution to this. I mean, it's just going to come. And basically, the way it's been working so far is whenever a game gets a massive audience, because before League of Legends, the most played game in the world, as far as I'm aware at least, was probably World of Warcraft. I mean, I know that a lot of Russians play World of Tanks or whatever, and those numbers are also very respectable. But I think that, on a global sense, the games that people can identify with, the biggest game before League of Legends was World of Warcraft. League of Legends surpassed Warcraft. I mean, in Warcraft, there was a pretty toxic community as well. You'd go to a dungeon, you'd mess up, and people were like, you fucking idiot. You don't know how to tank. You don't know how to heal. You don't know how to DPS. Do you even know how to DPS? Man, why don't you kill the ad? Why don't you stun the ad? Why don't you, always. And in League of Legends, same thing. It's whenever you get a big enough community, toxicity comes with it because people don't know how to not be assholes on the internet. It's just a fact.
It's too easy to be an asshole. Yeah.
One person, like let's say one person having a conversation with another person, like 90% of the times, they can't be civil. If you have like a discussion between 1,000 people against another 1,000 people, they will never be civil. It's just
we know this.
Match,
YouTube comments and Twitter and all kinds of stuff. You just get like, it's a disaster show. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure how they. I don't even know what. I don't know. But I'm going to hands down.
It's not up to the developers. It's up to humanity to change.
And they're not going
to be better human fucking beings. That's what we got to do. It's not
quite
really
like
up to them.
League of Legends. I cannot play League of Legends, and I have not played it for like probably 2 years. Maybe once or twice in the last 2 years. I used to play it heavily, when I used to play with like Kiri and a load of other friends. We used to have pretty consistently 5-man teams. We never used to play ranked, just used to play normal. It was fun, it was enjoyable. I started playing on my own, and it's completely unplayable because the moment you make a mistake, I mean, to be fair, you're going to make mistakes. You'll know you make a mistake. It's like, shit, I've made a mistake. and they rip on you, and they just totally like lose their train of thought. They're not playing the game anymore. They're ripping on you. It's really, and obviously the time investment is a problem, which Heroes of the Storm does kind of sort out a little bit. With we're not sitting there for an hour long in a game. I guess maybe you could do in some extreme circumstances, but you know it's usually 20 minutes, isn't it, Rooney? It's kind of done.
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes per match.
Whereas in LoL, you're locked in for a minimum of 20 minutes, and that's if one team is going to surrender, and that's and that's the other thing as well. I think actually having that kind of thing where they are longer games, and there is no real way to stop them early unless everyone on one team just like leaves.
I'm stuck
you are
here. I want to leave.
Locked in with a group of people who, within 5 minutes, all spontaneously started hating each other, and it just gets worse from there. And then all those people then go into another game. They don't go, that was totally shit, I'm turning this off. Instead, it's, I only need this much more IP for the next champion. I better go and have one more game. Or, I'm so close to, I'm so close to to getting close to ranking up, so therefore I need to play another game. So they go into the next game full of like bile and vinegar from the previous game, and immediately the jungler, gets ambushed, and it's, you're a fucking dick and I hope you die. And it's like, mate, chill out. They don't chill out. They just keep going.
It's the jungler's first game of the day, and there's like 4 other people in there who have been losing and hating
for the
other
past 4
people.
games. So they all just turn up, and it's just a horror show straight away. But I don't think there's no. I mean, you said, Rui, I don't think there's any system that is going to fix that. Unfortunately, it's the nature of most people. And I used to do this. I don't do it anymore, thank God. But I used to get really pissed off if I was losing or if I fucked up. Not so much at other people, but I'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake, I did that wrong. And then if someone goes, oh, you did that wrong. Like, yeah, no shit, dickhead. What are you talking about? But it's so easy to do that, and it's a lot harder to actually just sit there and go, forget it. Just ignore it. It's fine. And I don't think a lot of people are prepared to even try that anyway, because it's like they're so ingrained in this whole, I must not, I will not let people talk down to me, I will not be spoken to like that it just turns into a massive argument, and then everyone sits there and hates each other. And I don't know what you could even do to fix it apart from just turn off chat altogether, in which case you then lose the ability to communicate with the team. So that's not even a solution either. It's just
to give you impossible. An idea. I'm not sure when was the last time you guys played Heroes of the Storm, but the first thing that pops up whenever you enter a match now, there's a little chat thing that pops up and says, click here to disable ally chat. That's the first thing pops up when you get into a game. So like, if you don't want to deal with that, you can just like disable ally chat from the start of the match.
And their solution to begin with was just not to allow, you cannot speak to the other team, can you, in that game?
Yeah, you can't speak to the other team.
It's kind of like Hearthstone, you can't speak to the opponent, because I tell you something, that'd be beautiful if you could, because you'd just be sitting there ripping on people. Look what I've got.
I'm so glad that wasn't a thing though, because when I played Hearthstone very intensively, but only for about a month. But I pretty much only played Hunter, and it wasn't the nicest kind of approach I had. It was just basically pick a build, run with it, and I found it to be quite effective. And the number of people that I imagine got very irritated, given that I wasn't that high rank, but I could still kind of just demolish them a bit. I was like, every now and again, I'd get like someone tried to add me on Battle.net. And I always refused it because I just assumed it would be someone adding me and then going, I hope you die in every single way possible. And it was only after like the third time that someone tried to add me that I thought, oh yeah, there's no chat. Oh, thank fuck for that. There's no chat. That's amazing. I like.
But can you imagine if you could like chat to your opponents in Hearthstone? Like they'd be thinking about their next move. You'd be like, "Hey, fucker, I hate you. I banged your mom last night," or something like that. Just like,
it would happen though. That's the thing. It would happen. It would just be
and
terrible.
Again, it's like you said. It's because of the sheer number of people who play that game. Because if you compare all this to StarCraft, I mean, hello, I've got my Terran T-shirt. If you compare it to StarCraft, the community is much smaller, and there was never really that much hate in that community. It was always like, good luck, have fun, GG, and all that shit after a game, and that was fine. And sometimes you would talk to people after the match, even if you played them in rank, you'd say, oh, what did you do? And you'd have a good chat. And if that had a massive community of players, it would not be like that. It just wouldn't be. It would just be like, I've just fucking destroyed you, ha ha ha, blah blah blah. You can imagine it. Somebody sitting there with a big army just about to kill you. It's like, I'm about to do something to your mama. And then they just roll through your base, and then like they make it last, just leave buildings here and there. I don't know, but it's
I don't think it's not a fault of the game, is it? It's not the game's fault. It's never the game's fault. It's
no. It's the
people, unfortunately.
It is the people. And basically what needs to happen is, like I said, we need to evolve past this whole thing that we hate
which
each
will
other
never
on the
happen.
internet.
So,
which, it doesn't happen because of age, I almost feel like, because a lot of people that are coming in are new and they have a lot of pent-up aggression.
Yeah. This was going to be my thing, right? Now, I go on about this every now and again, but it's like League of Legends does have a generally younger player base on the whole. Okay, we're talking people who are like maybe just hitting 20, they're in their late teens. I'm going to throw that out there, and I think it's pretty fun to throw abuse at people on the internet because they don't know who you are. And like you said, Rui, they may have pent-up aggression because if they may have recently gone through a bodily change. They may even be younger, like really younger people. I mean, I know people who are quite young who play that game, members of my family, and I'm just like, you're 12 and you play League of Legends. I do not ever want you on my fucking team. You know what I mean? But if you've got them on your team, oh my God. But then this is an entire other problem. You don't have to be saying somebody's young, like 17, 18 or whatever, and they're an idiot. I wasn't an idiot at that age. So it's not entirely fair. They could be mature beyond their years, but the fact is, and I do believe this to be a complete solid fact, that when a game does have a younger player base, it will suffer inherently from these toxic communities because these people do not really know how to interact with other people. I mean, I played EverQuest 1999 a couple of weeks back, right, which is a fan-made server, and it's a recreation of EverQuest from 1999. Like, it's old school. Have you played EverQuest, Rui?
Nope.
It's like really old school. But the community in that game, I think there were 4,000 people on the server, which isn't a lot, I mean, it's a fan-made thing. But I tell you what,
players than Evolve gets.
Yeah, Evolve. What's that game? So the community was so good though. They would come up to me. I'm a nobody, and they're asking me for help. Do you need any help? Do you need this? We'll show you this. We'll help you with this. And you just, I mean, if you started in World of Warcraft now, you're not going to get that. It's I don't know. They're just different. But obviously the age group of that game is much higher, but it's obviously got less players, like it's generally people past 30 who would be playing it on the whole. But I don't know, I just think I don't think Riot can sort this problem they've got with their community, and this is no doubt just the latest in a load of things that they'll do. But I mean, we'll inevitably see people posting things on Reddit and all over the place and making videos on YouTube about how they've been banned, like as we just said, with they're just playing with their friends and they've been banned for the lols, and now they've got like a 2-year ban.
If they do something like H1Z1 was doing, where apparently you can do a video, apologize,
Rui.
and maybe you can get unbanned. And I was watching some of these videos, people like, I cheated. It's like, hi, my name's Doug, and I'm an addict.
We did this.
Smeared us apart.
Yeah, the last HOTFIX we did this.
Okay, then
we even had one of the guys. We had one of the guys who made a video, commented on the video as well.
Yeah.
Because we showed it on the thing, and it's like the guy's like, I mean, he looked like he was about 17, maybe. I'm very sorry for what I've done.
I'm very sorry.
I realise my actions are.
I'm so sorry, Governor.
I'm sorry, but it's like he's saying sorry, like he's just committed a crime, really. You know what I mean? Like it was fuck that John Smedley anyway. He's a fucking arsehole. He needs a kick up the arse. Okay, let's move on. Right, the next subject we've got, Mr. Kirioth will like this because he's spent about 10 grand on this game. It is Star Citizen's future, thanks to a massive leak. Now, there has been a massive leak. I love this guy's name. According to Redditor, Lord something, I'm Elite Haxer, and I've got an amazing neckbeard. The leak happened after the community manager at developer Cloud Imperium Games posted a screenshot that included a partial URL. So these people then went and found the rest of the URL and managed to find a torrent to 48 gigs worth of unreleased assets, which they then downloaded.
Brute force that. Can you imagine someone brute forcing a friggin' torrent URL? Like, what are these people doing?
Why was it a torrent? Who the fuck?
It's because they have
cheaper.
Listen,
it's cheaper
they have
to transfer
multiple
stuff.
studios working on this game all over the world, and torrent is one of the most efficient ways of transferring.
There's got to be some sort of like a secure way of doing that without. Well, I suppose
it's cheaper though. It's cheaper.
It's probably secure if you don't stick part of the fucking URL in a screenshot and then show it to the internet. I mean, that's probably
bastards.
The secure way of doing it.
I'm still fucking reading up. So, there's a ton of things that have been like leaked, like new ships and apparently a load of Squadron 42 stuff, which is the single player aspect of the game. And then obviously at the end of the article, they just say, oh, and by the way, it's raised 83 million so far. And in fact, if you go to their website, which I'm going to go to, I believe it shows you how much they make every day. Yeah, so, and this always I don't understand this. So on the 20th, oh no, hang on, let's go to 27th, yesterday, they managed to crowdfund $58,000 yesterday.
So
on the 22nd, they did $194,000. They basically, on average, do about $60,000 a day in terms of revenue.
So I'm going to, in terms of how much money they're getting, I'm going to go ahead and say that this game is going to have the most disappointing launch in the history.
You know what, Rui?
And I know that so many people are going to hate me for saying that.
No,
now I'm going to say, wait, I'm going to say something even worse now because I just love pissing off fanboys of this game. I know that if Captain Shaq would watch this, who's the guy I work with, he would be so pissed off. But I'm going to go ahead and say this, which is,
oh yeah, I've spoken to
in
Captain
this
Shaq,
day and
yeah.
age. In this day and age, this game is basically the biggest pay-to-win game in video game history.
Yep, it is. And you know what? It cannot not be a pay-to-win game, because if you spend 10 grand on a ship and then Billy fucking Bobbins comes along with it with, yeah, but I'd play for blah 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 and I've got the same ship, you're not going to be happy about that. So that is a major problem they've got, and I think there's been a lot of discussions about that. But Mr. Kiri, tell us about this. This league.
In a way, this game, it absolutely breaks my heart, because when I first saw the Kickstarter, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. This is what I thought it was going to be like the next Freelancer, basically. You know how much I like Freelancer. That game was it's like the top game that I've ever played. I love Freelancer. And I was like, oh my god, this looks fucking amazing. This is incredible. And I ended up getting the what, I can't remember what the fucking ship's called now. The €140 ship, that one. Because we just sold our house. We're like, okay, we've got a little bit of spare cash. I can do that. It sounds horrible, and I really hate the fact that I'm saying it. I do not care about this game anymore. It sounds horrendous.
$140.
Yeah, it was
euros.
not the best decision I've ever made in my life. I could afford it. It was fine, but it's just like now I kind of look at this and I kind of watch these videos. So I was like, okay, so there's all this leaked stuff. There's all these new things. Maybe this will kind of rekindle it. Maybe like, oh, okay, Star Citizen. I can get excited about this again. I can't. It's got to the point now
you
where...
want to know why you can't get excited about it? Because you have your little friggin' dinghy ship, and some fucker that's just spent like $10,000 on this game or something. He's like, hey, your ship's really cute. It's
there is that as well. But it's like they just keep adding stuff in. They keep saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to add this, we're going to add that. Given the scale of this game, I know they've had like an insane amount of money. But they also have quite a number of people working on this, right? They've got so many different fucking modules as well. There's the racing side of it. There's the single player. There's the multiplayer. There's the first person shit. There's the exploration. There's all of this. Is what they've raised actually enough to make the game for a start? Because it's a vast project. Like, it's fucking huge. It's absolutely insane how big it is. So would that cover it? Secondly, as well, if you keep adding features on, then you're going to end up with like the most horrendous case of like bloat that you can find in a game. It's just getting like so ridiculously massive now that it's like I don't even understand where they're even heading with it anymore. Like when I pledged to it, it had not raised anywhere near this much. Like it was not $83 million. That's ridiculous to me. It was not even like anywhere close to that. And so it was like what I was funding with all of my enthusiasm was essentially the next, like, a modern Freelancer game. You know, loads of exploration, ship-to-ship combat, the idea of having multiple people in one ship and you know, doing that was like, that's what I was funding. Having funded that part of the game and what I thought the game would be, now it's like, oh yeah, here's your 10 grand ship, here's your fucking racing module, here's your first-person shooter module, which I don't care about first-person shooters. I want to play a fucking star exploration game. I want to fly a ship. I don't want to play COD. What the fuck is this? I didn't fund Call of Duty in space. I funded Star Citizen. So why have you even put that in? It's just... The game is just... It's just too big. It's too ridiculously big. And they've had to do it by necessity to sell this stuff. They've had to make it so that the more you get, the better ship you get. So that's already kind of bullshit. I funded that, which is bad, but it was like, yeah, I don't know. I've just left with a bad taste in my mouth whenever I think about this game now, because it's gone from being something I was really looking forward to and hoping would be great to like the worst case of like gaming bloat I think I've seen in the industry for God knows how long.
No, it is.
And I'm
It
just
just
not
is.
even
It's
sure
it's
that
the
they can
worst.
even afford it anyway with the budget they've
sell
got, because it's so massive.
Imaginary stuff. They literally sell things to you which you can't. Well, okay, you maybe have to see the models of some of them in your hangar, and I think you can fly some of them around in their little space combat module thing, the test thing. But it's like if they're making like on average like $60,000 a day selling ship models that you can't actually do anything with, and they're doing that every day. Well, of course, they're just going to constantly keep making new ships, which is a lot of this leak does contain loads of unreleased ships, which will be released, periodically down the line. So how many people are sitting there working on the design of these ships? Because, I mean, you must have seen them, Rui. Some of them are absolutely fucking insane. And what they've made, it looks really good, and this is why I think people are throwing money at it. And it's like, wow, look at the ship, the way the doors open and all this crap, and it's all fancy, and that's great. But you sort of end up to me anyway, you end up in the situation like PlanetSide 2 ended up in, where they had at least they had a game, I guess, to begin with, but they just started to endlessly work on microtransaction content instead of fixing problems with the game. And when you start doing that, the community of the game start to get really unruly, and they don't play your game anymore because they see that all you're trying to do is make as much money as possible from the game. But Star Citizen's in a position where it ain't even made the game, but it's selling the fucking shit. To me, it's really surreal. Rui, I can't when Kiri tells me how much he spent on that game, I want to headbutt him. Because
that was at a point. That was at a point. Where
I know.
I had the income, I had the money to do it without it having an impact. And also, it wasn't this. This is the thing that pisses me off. It's like those people who fund a Kickstarter. Yeah. It's like the people who fund a Kickstarter and then the Kickstarter disappears.
Well, I did. Yeah.
Hang
on. I did fund the Kickstarter for Star Citizen, but it was completely. I did because I wanted access to it for my YouTube channel. That's the only reason why. But it was the lowest possible tier. I think it was $25 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still on something which, okay, I've made my money back of it because I made videos off it and blah, blah, blah. But, for Kiri to spend that much money, he obviously was in... At the time, the vision they put forward, he bought into it. But
that's
now...
what I wanted. But it's not that anymore. It's got that... I don't even know where that vision even lies.
Well, what? Why didn't you play Elite Dangerous that much? I played that more than you, Elite Dangerous. And isn't that kind of what you wanted?
It didn't have the... it sounds bad, but it didn't have the kind of... The scope or the imagination that I wanted.
Listen,
so it didn't grab me.
Here's a big problem about Star Citizen. A lot of people have gotten into their little ship hangar and whatnot, and a lot of people have done videos about their little ship hangar, and they're like, "Oh my god, my ship looks so cool and it looks so great." And it's like, "Oh, look at the way the door animates and the chair goes in. There's all these nifty things and there's all these amazing things." It's like all I can really tell you is that that is a render of your own private little thing on your own single player little thing. Now, just imagine, how is that even technologically possible on a massive scope? It's not. I think they're just delaying at this point. They're like, let's just get as much money as we can.
That's the thing. I don't know.
And run. We're going to make a real rocket and go to the moon.
This is the problem. Where do you actually go? When I funded it, it was like, this is going to be a space exploration game, and these are the ships that you can have. And there will be some bigger ships where you can have multiple people in them. And I was like, that's what I want. That's what I've wanted for ages. There hasn't been a game that has done that for me. And I know this guy, I know what he's done in the past. This is literally the game I've been waiting for. Therefore, I will spend this much on it because this is something that it made me excited because it kind of reminded me of the feeling I used to get playing Freelancer. And that's what you're chasing for, isn't it? Whenever you see a game on Kickstarter, whenever you see a new game.
Well, any crowdfunded game is playing to your nostalgia, basically. It's like, I remember this game when you were a kid. Oh yeah,
and I was just like, version. Well, okay, this looks fantastic. I've got this extra money that I can use for it, therefore I will. And then as it went on, it was like, I guess we've got the what is it, the Vandal Swarm module, whatever that was, I can't remember what it was called. And then it was like, now we've got the racing module. And I was thinking, well, I wasn't really in it for racing. I'm not sure I care about that. And then it's like, by the way, we've raised $50 million, so now you can do this as well. I'm thinking, I don't want that. And then it was, now we've got first-person combat. And I'm just like, Where's the game I paid for? Where's
my game?
Where the fuck is my game? And my game doesn't exist. Literally at the moment, the game that I funded with my money does not exist. It's not available. It's not there. And the worst thing is that no matter how many times I check this, and I do check up on it once every month or so, I look at it and I'm like, I still can't see my game. Where is the thing that I funded? And it's just not there. And I kind of hoped with this kind of, we've got 48 gig of assets. I would look at it and go, okay, now this is starting to look more like what
The
I
game will
wanted to
probably
begin
be
with.
10 terabyte when it fucking launches.
Then it was nothing. It's like, it's just more ships, it's just more stuff to sell, and it's just more steps away from the thing that I want. So it's like, no, I don't. It's like I still check it every now and again, almost out of like I feel like I should, just because of how much I spent on it. But it's like
because you're paying their wages, basically.
it just pisses me off, and it makes me sad because it's like I was genuinely excited for this game, and now I'm just like, it's not that I don't care, it's just that I'm already disappointed, and it's not even launched. But the thing is, I'm curious. I'd love to know how many people feel the same way, like people who funded it on day one. And now they're sat there, and it's like, oh, by the way, the ship that you bought day one is like nothing now.
Okay,
so it's literally nothing.
Yeah, but that's interesting though. Why is it making $2,000 an hour then?
I don't. This is the thing. I don't know. It's too bloated.
People are still throwing money at it though.
I don't
because
understand
there's
that.
a lot of people who are obsessed with that game, and they just want to have the biggest ship that exists, and they're going to keep throwing money at it.
I find this. Well, hang on. I find this kind of weird. There's like on their forums, there are people who have like invented lore and entire stories based around their character in a game they've not even played yet, and there are all of this going on, and I'm just like, wow. You obviously will love the game when it comes out in whatever capacity it comes out in, but to attract those type of like die-hard fans is insane, and even to the point of like I said, generating $2,000 an hour right now in this hotfix has been going for an hour. $2,000 they've made.
And that's the amazing thing, isn't it? It's like I don't quite understand like. I mean, I can guess some people are saying going
meteoric rises. It's just that simple.
But the thing is, where's it going to stop? And is it when it launches? How many people are just going to be like, "What is this? Like, what is going on? This doesn't it doesn't run well."
It won't launch like that, will it? It's launching in stages, isn't it? So you get like the module. You could say it's already launched to a point. You can walk around your hangar like Rui said he loves doing to look at his $10,000 ship that's got. Until I can on the floor.
Until I can get in the ship that I bought and actually fly somewhere new and different, or explore something that I've never seen, the game isn't out for me. That's just how it is for me. It's like
that combat
the game
module.
Don't exist.
The combat module.
The combat module
that came out. The ship I've got, Rui, is the shittest ship in the entire game. I loaded it in, right, and you can fly around and shoot other people and do stuff like that. The only other ship at the time that was available was, I think, one you had, Kiri, like a fighter type style ship, and it was like way better than my ship. So, like me, I was just going around in some like you say, a rubber dinghy in space, and I'm just getting completely blown away by these other guys, and I'm like, okay, they're probably way better at me. You know, I only played it for a couple of hours, but then when I started reading into it, it was like, no, actually, that ship is a combat ship. What I've got is just a piece of shit, so I'm going to get destroyed, and there's no way I can beat them. Like, even if I was like, got a bead on me, just quite attack them, it would do nothing. So that started getting
Arena Commander. Arena
Commander. Yeah, that's what it's called. So people then would start upgrading their package just to be competitive in that. And this is like I don't know. This game is so weird to me. It's just.
I've just checked the channel, and the last video that was put up to do with Star Citizen was 11 months ago, which was essentially when the Arena Commander module came out, and I think I kickstarted it. It was just after the Kickstarter finished, so I kickstarted on their site, but not on Kickstarter itself. So it was still at that point where it was not sitting there with like 83 million or even 10 million. It was still.
They were never in Kickstarter, Kirioth. They only had their site.
No, they did have Kickstarter.
They did have Kickstarter.
What?
Yeah, I'm a Kickstarter backer. What they did is, Rui, they did a Kickstarter campaign for a certain amount, and they raised like quite a bit, and they were like, "Oh, we'll just carry on our website," and that's why it's just carried on since like the last 3 years. Every day, $2,000 an hour.
I think they. I can't remember what they aimed for the actual Kickstarter, but they. I'm just having a look now.
But yeah, I don't want people to think that like I want this game to fail. I don't ever really want games to fail. I want games to be great regardless.
This is the thing. What I would love is if this. There we go. They wanted $500,000 on Kickstarter. They got 2.1 million.
Yeah, so
I mean, they got
hang on, guys. Hang on.
160 times more.
Let me shut up, you plebs. Let me read what I've got on the screen here. So yeah, this is the Star Citizen Kickstarter thing, and it just says, it explains what the game is. They've got that trailer, which, let's be honest, was a pretty shit hot trailer at the time.
Yeah.
And they got 34,000 backers, and they got a total pledge of $2.1 million. So that was in like 2013. Was it 2012?
No, it was. I can't actually see the date that this was put up.
Yeah, why doesn't it show the date? This is dodgy.
The hell? Any chance Kickstarter?
Yeah, so it was a couple of years ago anyway, but yeah, It then did move on to its own website, to its own funding thing.
This is the thing.
Well, this is the problem, though, isn't it? Isn't this the problem? Because when you moan about all these features, and that's completely justified, they sit there and they need to have more shit coming out for you to keep backing them. And they endlessly end up with too many people working on too many shit and nothing gets finished. And by the time something does get finished, it's been years and years and years since that was actually promised, that you kind of forgot about it, sort of thing, because maybe you want something else that has been announced because you want to be...
It's kind of like Daisy syndrome.
But this is
never going to be finished.
No, and Daisy was like shit as well, even now.
On the Kickstarter itself, it says real quick, Star Citizen is a rich universe focused on epic space adventure, trading, and dogfighting in first person. So then it's a single player, offline or online, drop in, drop out co-op play, persistent universe hosted by us, moddable multiplayer hosted by you, no subscriptions, no pay to win. That to me was like, okay, cool. Start Freelancer 2.
No pay
that was
to
it.
win.
And now look at it.
They might want to remove that part.
It's just like it's crushing because it's like I like you. I don't want the game to fail. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh yeah, well I hope it falls on its arse and they go bankrupt or anything. I don't want that. I'd really love the game to launch and for me to load it up and be like, okay, no, this is what I wanted. But right now, it's not what I wanted at all. It's not. It barely resembles the thing that I actually wanted to fund at the time. So I don't know. I hope it's brilliant, but I don't know how the hell they're going to do it. I don't know whether they've got enough money.
And
they've bloated it beyond compare, and the
problem is if that game flops, you know that the entire gaming industry is going to suffer because of it. Because investors and stuff, they're going to be like, "Oh my god, these guys, it's all this money, all this fucking money. Yeah. They burned through it." And they friggin' didn't even launch anything that was close.
I hate to say this,
promised,
but if this collapses and flops and just like dies straight out of the gate, then it could kill off space exploration games again for quite some time. Because we had a fairly serious gap, like where really we just had the X series, and even
No
that
Man's
was
Sky
like,
will save us.
Like even X was like buggy as hell.
I'm looking forward to No Man's Sky, but I mean, like, obviously there's various legitimate arguments for that game, especially like, well, Kiri made a video on it with, you've got like, I think the game, what they've promised looks good, but I don't really like the way Sony pushed the shit out of that game. Like it's some sort of, like, it's almost if they promote it as if it's more than it actually is. So when people do get it, they'll be like, all I'm doing is flying around, exploring things. What am I supposed to do? But that's the game. It's like, but that's the game, you know.
That's another game it was kind of weird the way that they said, oh, you're going to be in this massive universe and stuff, and people are like, oh, it's an MMORPG, and it's like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Elite Dangerous. Okay, so Elite is an example of this. This is why I stopped playing the game, Elite Dangerous is, you can play it offline on your own, if you like, which would be stupid. Why would you do that? Or you can play it online, okay, on their massive server. So it's like, okay, on their massive server with like their thousands and thousands of players, everybody in a ship. The universe is massive because it's the universe. It is massive. You know, you could literally fly for weeks and weeks to get somewhere, sort of thing. It's that ridiculous. But their problem is it's too instant because they cannot possibly. There is no physical way of having everybody in the same area, which is the point you're trying to make. It just can't happen. You can't but that's the thing. You want the game to be like that. You know what I mean? Like it completely kills the game when I'm flying from what you could argue is the start area and I only see 3 people. Yeah, I know there are tens of thousands of people playing this game. Where are they? Oh, they're in a different instance to you.
That's part of the thing that killed Elite Dangerous for me. It was like, where's my multiplayer?
Have you played it, Rui? Elite Dangerous?
No, but I've seen a lot of videos.
Yeah. So like if you like, you're in Super Cruise, so kind of Super Cruise, so sort of like traveling fast inside a star system. If you wanted to go to like a point of interest, let's say. You like if I was with Kiri, I'd be like, yeah, I'm heading for this point of interest, but I don't know where Kiri is because he's not in my instance. We'd get to the thing, and then suddenly we'd be together, maybe, if we were lucky. Now, I know there's an update which came out, the Wingman update, which came out after I stopped playing the game.
You to select the instance?
It allows you to make a wing, basically, so you sort of together in a little group. But even then, it's got, like, dodgy restrictions and stuff, or it did have. But
sounds like
it just totally kills it.
Dark Souls.
Oh, worse than that, really. It's like worse. It was just like hit and miss. It's like, is this going to work? It was really bad. Yeah. But the game itself, I really enjoyed the game. Like the mechanics, the way the ships, all of that was really enjoyable. And I've probably clocked about 160 hours in the game or something like that, which is quite a bit, considering there isn't that much in the game. You know, a lot of it's procedurally generated when you start getting towards the edges of the thing, of like known space sort of thing. But you know, I wanted to be a pirate. You know, I wanted to be a guy who would go after people and say, you know, do a bit of role play, give me your cargo else, I'm going to sort you out. You can do that. Well, you could do that at the time I played, but it was so infrequent. Yeah. So it totally takes it out of it. So you just sort of like pissing about.
And it's like I don't see any way that Star Citizen can do that without instancing. I don't see. There's no way with the amount of graphical detail they're putting in there. Like, you would need 3 or 4 computers like mine, which is a friggin' beast of a computer, or like yours, Sty, because you also have a beast. And I'm assuming Kiri also. Like, we need to combine our 3 computer powers together to friggin' run a game that could have like thousands of players on that level of graphical.
The biggest problem is we're like the top 1% of hardware configuration. So like people cannot physically play the game, and it's just like.
It's not gonna.
I mean, Star Citizen runs like shit on my computer anyway. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
there you go. I don't see a happy ending to that game. That's my problem, and
even more my fucking problem, given how much I spent on it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not really my problem per se. It's just I don't necessarily want the game to fail. I know a lot of people that are interested and they want to play it, and it's gonna really suck for them if this game goes down.
Yeah. Oh, it's like you said about Captain Shakru. I guess he's the same as Kiri. Where they really.
I don't know how much he put into it, but he friggin' loves that game.
Like it's the idea.
One time I told him that I thought it was a pay to win game, and dude, he was so legitimately pissed off at me.
That's the thing. You cannot offer a $10,000 ship that is the same as a $20 ship. You can't do that. That's because no one's going to buy it. So you've got to make it stronger or better or more powerful. And it works exactly the same with my ship and Styles. It's like mine is just better, but. It shouldn't be better because that means that when the game launches, I've got an advantage, which is shit. And I mean, it's not. It was pretty much the thing of I set a limit and I was like, "That's the ship I like the look of," and that's when I. But it wasn't until I had it I really thought, actually, that's not the way to do it. Like that's kind of shady. But at the time, I was kind of so blinded by this is the game that I want that I kind of did it. But it's not going to be good for that.
Let's move on. So we've got. The Witcher 3 as it's basically been the best-selling game of the year so far, and that's pretty much all this news article says. Now, why is that the case? Probably because it's the best game of the year so far.
So I'm going to disagree with you on that. I think it's a friggin' fantastic game, but Bloodborne's better.
But this is well, you would. I
knew that. I knew it.
Bloodborne.
This game is like I don't know. I'm happy. I'm very happy that it's as successful as it is. Because
let me tell you why this game is this successful. Because this is an open world game.
Okay.
That is not going after the tropes that Ubisoft has created, which is climb up a fucking tower, reveal this area, go here, kill this person for no fucking reason.
You noticed how that is now in every single game? Have you noticed that?
It is.
It's in Assassin's
every single Ubisoft game has that.
It's in the
every
crew.
Single one.
How did they put fucking radio towers in the crew of all games?
You have to hack the towers, dude, so that you can get the street races.
I was playing that and I was like, is that honestly telling me to go to a tower? What fucking game? I'm not on a horse. What the fuck are you talking about?
It would be so much better if they had you like pull a winch out of your car and actually use the car to climb the tower. That would be so good.
What the fuck?
I play it.
Listen. Right. The Witcher 3 is basically a CRPG, so a classic RPG game where that is in a modern engine. That's what makes it brilliant, because when you look at that game, I often find myself when I play it, I'm not actually, I don't look at the map. I'm not fast traveling around or doing any of this shit. I'm just walking around while I'm on my horse. So I'm trotting around on my horse. I find a guy. He maybe has a problem. There's a bit of dialogue. The dialogue's interesting. I sort the guy's problem. I move on. And I do the next thing, and I do the next thing. You feel as if you're part of the world. And like a brilliant thing with that game is it doesn't shove down your throat. So there's an example of like quite an interesting elven ruin, and it's quite detailed. This isn't. It's quite big. It's underground. There's a lot of loot in there and stuff. You can only get there if you speak to a certain guy. You could just run past this guy, and the game's fine with that. It's like that's totally fine.
And
the
let me
devs
tell
may
you
have spent
about
hours on it, but who cares?
Let me tell you about an experience that I've had, which is just completely showcased. I've spoken with 3 different people about this quest, and we all had kind of a little bit of a different outcome.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. It's this quest where you go to a tower, and apparently this tower is haunted, and there's a sorceress who asks you to go there to remove the curse from this tower. So you go there, and there's a chance that you can speak with a bunch of ghosts. and eventually you reach the top of the tower, and there's like the more important ghost that you have to talk with. So there are so many ways that you can do this. And one of the ways, the outcome of the quest is basically you take the bones back, the ghost's bones back, and someone dies. Mm-hmm. The other way is you actually tell the ghost after you've done some more stuff. You tell it, no, I'm not going to take your bones back because there's something shady going on here. Ghost reveals itself to be a monster. You have to fight it, and then you have to go back and come back with someone else to help clear the curse. The other way, that is after that quest. But after that quest, then that influences another quest after that.
Yeah.
Which is like, you can have sex with the sorceress, or you can not have sex with the sorceress. You can have a peaceful outcome with the sorceress, or you can have to kill the sorceress. And all this stuff for one side quest.
Yeah.
It's a side quest. It's not even a storyline quest or anything.
You played the latest Dragon Age game?
Blown away. I played Inquisition a little bit, not too much.
Yeah, I played it a little bit, and then I was like, this is shit, and I got rid of it. Because, like, I mean, I loved Origins, don't get me wrong, 2 was completely shit, and 3 was just like, everyone's raving about it, but that was
3 felt very MMO-y.
Yes, let's say it's an open world RPG, it wasn't really that open, but it was,
it was
this
as
year,
open as Witcher 3, let's
year.
be honest.
Okay.
Witcher 3 it's
for this
not
year.
Also like a full world.
Well, no, but like for this year, that's what I'd expect. For a game like Witcher 3 to come out and perform as well as it's done in this year, to me, is fantastic, because that is a format of a game which, on paper, you should say maybe shouldn't work. Maybe it's not going to get as many sales as we need, you know. But it obviously has, and I'm really glad about that, because it's such a fucking brilliant game. Like often I speak about like getting lost in the game, you know, just being like
immersion.
I'm in this game. Yeah, I'm totally immersed in this game, and that is it. You know, I'm sitting here, the lights are all off. I don't even know that I'm sitting at a computer. I'm going out of Rivia, and I'm just going around, and that's what is happening. And it's and to be so like involved though, in even like you said, like the side quest dialogue and all of it is brilliant. I've not seen a bad quest. I mean, even things you think are going to be shit turn out to be something completely insane. I mean, have you done well, you must have done this if you've done the main quest, but the Lubberkin quest, the botchling.
I don't know. No, probably no.
I haven't got to that point yet.
I'll spoil this. So, would you guys want it to be spoiled?
I'd rather
Probably
not.
not.
I think you've already told me about it.
I think I've already told you about it. Well, I'll give like vague bits and pieces of it, but it's a quest which like you would never know. You would never expect it to turn out like that. And there are, again, multiple options how you can deal with the quest, which then would do impact on other things that happen further down the line. I mean, like, one little spoiler I can do, which is from the very start area, is there is a quest where you speak to a hunter, okay? And there's a pack of wild dogs which are basically roaming the countryside, killing people. And you ask him why the dogs are roaming the countryside, and he's like, well, you know, when soldiers come through the town, they tend to murder and rape the women and the children and kill the men, but they just leave the dogs, so the dogs just go all feral and just start running about.
Dog, don't they?
They don't care about the dogs, because, you know, men are happy killing other men and women and children and God knows what, but they won't kill a dog.
Kill the dogs.
So but you speak to him and he tells you like he's an outcast and he's a freak, and you ask him like, why is he a freak? You know, you relate to him, and he's like, well, I used to love the Lord's son. And it's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
I remember that.
But like in that town, there is a gravestone of the Lord's son, and that did not have to be there.
I hadn't seen that.
No,
yeah,
but it's like
there's a lot
all
of
these little tie-ins. It's just like you can see that they've like absolutely crafted. They've sat there and they've made a world which you just want to be lost in. And to me, it's just the best thing ever. It's like it's the best RPG game I've played. Like,
I think as well, there's no
far.
disjointed point either. Like when you're walking around, when you're just looking around and you see these little details here and there, or speak to someone and they ask you to do something, or there's no point where I'm sat there and I'm like, oh, that seems a bit off. All of it is just like you would expect. You not necessarily expect the quest to turn out the way they do, but you would kind of expect that in a world like that they would have that problem. Like no one's ever sat there and saying to you something like that seems completely ridiculous. You're always like, okay, given where we are, I can understand why you want that.
You know what I find really amusing about all this is that I've done a ton of Witcher content on TGN. And I always go back and I look at the comments. I have that bad habit of looking at all the comments of all the videos I make.
All the nice comments.
And I'm basically saying this game is really great. There's all these really great things about this game. And these people are going on about how their horse got stuck on a wall and therefore the game fucking sucks. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I think that your horse getting stuck on a wall is not that big of a deal.
That's something, right?
In the grand scheme of things.
When you go and see the general captain, whatever his name is, who dispatches you to kill the griffin at the very start of the game, when you go and see him, when you walk into that little castle they're taking over, the gate, if you stand in the wrong place, flaps backwards and forwards. That happened to me, like, it literally does. It's like, it's really quick. That happened for like a second, and I went, ooh. Walked in, immediately forgot about it. I wasn't sat there like, oh, well, quite clearly the game's fucking ruined. Because it's like, I think people, when they do stuff like that, it's like, I need to complain about something. Like, there has to be something in this game that I can bitch about.
Something that
and I mean, the horse has got
like.
stuck for me occasionally, and, you know, I've set it to follow the road, and I've kind of expected it to go down one path of the road, because that would be kind of more straight on than turning right, which is what the horse did. But at both times, I'm just like, stupid fucking horse, and then I just carry on because it doesn't matter, because the rest of the game is so well crafted and the dialogue is all like completely on point. Every quest you come across is at the very least kind of interesting. I've yet to come across something where I'm slightly like, oh, this is a bit dull, why am I doing this? Because it's always like, what the hell is going on?
I have never spammed X to skip the dialogue. I've sat there and
I've had to do it because I've played through several quests multiple times to do the videos.
Yeah. But it's like, you kind of... I don't ever find myself sitting there kind of going, this guy needs to shut up, I've got stuff to do. Instead, it's like, this guy needs to tell me what the hell is going on.
I don't really...
I like Gwent. Gwent's a lot of fun.
I'm not too fussed about it.
I crush the NPCs when I play Gwent. Actually, I'm gonna fucking destroy.
I stand up with my sword and just butcher them in the chairs and I win. No, I don't. Like, I've never really. I've got to be honest with you. I've never really been one for like mini games like that. I just tend to ignore them.
It's a lot of fun, dude. You got to try it. It's a lot of fun.
I think I played it when he forced me to play it, and that was it.
Yeah. Tutorial. It's because it's not an easy thing to kind of understand the first couple of times you play it, but then you start getting it, and it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of strategy involved in it. Because
this is the thing. It's like when I did the tutorial one, I was like, I don't really. I'm not too fussed about this, but actually having like, I've only played it for about 3 hours so far. I'm going to play it more tonight, but having kind of done that, I was like, given the attention to detail that I'm seeing everywhere else in this world, I kind of feel compelled to at least try it again, because I don't see why they would make a mini game in a game as detailed as that game without putting serious thought into it. So it's like, at the time I wasn't impressed, but then as I've kind of gone round, I kind of thought, maybe I should check it out, because everything else is so detailed. It's like, surely they'd do the same for that.
Let me just tell you, son, every time I go to perform a Gwent match, I basically bet the maximum amount of money. Wow, that's just wow.
No. Was that Australian or Scottish?
It went
every
from
time
like
I play
Australian
Gwent, I put
to
some
Texan
shrimps on the barbie.
No, but like I always bet the maximum amount every single time I go to play Gwent. It's so much fun. I mean,
a good thing for me, right, obviously being from the UK, is the game is just like every accent possible from the UK. I mean, I was talking to a guy from Somerset who sounds like a farmer. All right, no, are you all right there? Are you? And then you got like yams, which are like literally 10 miles up the road from me. All right, Sam, yeah, all right. And I'm like, what? I can understand all of this, and I'm just like, this must be amazing. Like, I can imagine there are people sitting there like, what did that person just say to me? Well, they say that to me when I talk to them. What did you say?
I love it. I'm just like,
and I'm just like, this is insane. I mean,
when people are like,
Style like starts a conversation.
Like, oh, yeah.
Style starts a conversation. He's like, you fucking what, mate?
Yeah, but you get that, don't you? It's like it's so good.
At the very start, when those two guys leave the pub and they were like waiting outside for you, the guy's like, I could deal with this guy by himself. I'm like, he's got a proper accent. Yes. I mean, I still killed him, but that's the thing as well. I pulled my sword out for that. They all stood there with fisticuffs.
What, for the fist fight?
Yeah.
What?
You pulled your sword out?
Killed them.
I was like,
Kirioth's like, I don't give a damn about this.
The guy had like a knife on him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna cut you up." So I fucking slashed him.
It's like that Indiana Jones scene where you have the guy with the sword like going all crazy.
The guy
Harrison
with the sword.
Ford's like, "Bang, fuck you."
Yeah, I was like, don't talk to me like that, you prick. Get on the floor.
Well, I mean,
I think The Witcher 3 was a great friggin' release, and I love the game. I think it's definitely among my top.
I think
10
it's going to take
easy
me
this year.
at least like half a year just to get through all the content in it because there's so much in there.
There's so much stuff.
But I like that. That was one of the things I kind of. That's one of the things I really liked about Dragon Age.
So here we go. Here's an
finishing
example.
Everything off, going to every single side quest, doing everything. The Witch is like it's so jam packed with stuff to do. It's like I don't think you can ever get bored
what's the
either.
most what's the most satisfying thing about it for me personally? I mean, I don't know what difficulty you guys are playing on. I'm playing on Death March right now, and it's very satisfying because you actually have to set up the oils. For
You can't just run in and just start chopping.
You can't just start.
I made that mistake the first time. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I got absolutely destroyed. I was like, okay,
Casual,
right, fine, okay.
Casual.
Let's go back and try this again.
This is why I like The Witcher. Get ready for my amazing accent. I'm going to change my monitor over as well to a picture. Felt like I'd been rammed in the arse by a horse. I went to find the bugger to get the girls back to bring them home. Yet, as soon as I saw them, something turned inside me. Something dark. I slaughtered the shit-eating twat and fed his carcass to the dogs. That's basically all the dialogue in the game. And like, I actually went on Twitter and I was like, and the award for the best dialogue in any game ever goes to The Witcher 3 because it's literally all like this, and it's just like Witcher 2 and even The Witcher. Like there was like these kids, and one of them's like they're talking to each other about ladies, and the little girl. I mean, they're like 8, 9, 10-year-old kids, and the girl says, "Am I a lady?" And the lad turns around and goes, "You're no lassie. Lassie's got tits." It's like, what the hell? And then another kid's running around going, Gran, a bumblebee bit Yagner in the arse. It's like, what is this? It's just so good. It's so good. It's just ridiculous.
It's basically it's good quality content. It's not.
No,
they're not pulling any punches.
No,
they're basically not being politically correct. They're like, no, we're going for authenticity as much as possible.
There's no filler, is there? That's the thing. There's nothing where you're sitting like they've only put this in here because they're running out of stuff to do. I don't get that feel from anything. I got that feel from bloody Inquisition about half an hour in when it's like, oh, by the way, we need some food for the camp. I was like, fuck you. Are you kidding me? I've got like a crazy demon on. I'm not going to chase after sheep. Get the fuck out. I'm not doing that. Whereas Witcher 3, that's not even a thing. It's not like, oh, Geralt, would you mind going and collecting 6 wolf pelts?
Did I ever?
Like, I'll just cut you up.
Yeah, I'm coming back with more quotes. Did I ever? I remember it as if it were yesterday. Soon as I woke, I went to empty me bowels. My favourite part of the day. Defecating to the sunrise. Downright glorious. It's like,
dude, I use that little piece of video in so many of the videos that it's like there's one video just starts like that, no intro, nothing. It's like defecating to the sunrise, downright glorious.
And he's like a little freak as well, the guy is, and it's like, oh my god, it's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, I can't recommend it enough. If you're a fan of RPGs, you've got to play The Witcher 3. It's just like,
Witcher 3 is it's super solid.
It's ridiculous.
And I was, what surprised me the most about Witcher 3 is how good it actually looks on the consoles. It surprised the crap out of me. It looks really good.
It does look good, yeah.
I did like a video comparison of it. I understand that now they improved the textures on PC or something, but
but that's
at
only
the time,
recently, though.
there weren't that many differences in terms of graphics. I mean, the PC you had the greater draw distance, the usual stuff you can only get on the PC, but it wasn't that different, and I was really impressed.
The only thing that I really heard that people didn't like that much on the console version was, I know people can not complain, but there was a bit of an issue where the Xbox One had a variable frame rate, which is being patched out because it wasn't locked at 30 all the time. It went between 30 and 40.
The PS4 wasn't locked at 30 as well. Sometimes it went
was it
above
not?
30. Yeah. I've had a couple of instances.
Because they specifically said that they're patching the Xbox One version so that it's locked at 30 at all times.
Those are the people that have never played PC games. They can't handle the variable frame. They're like, I'd rather have less frames. Give me 20 frames a second. I can't handle these 40 frames.
My eye can't see that many frames anyway.
Oh, no. It's like that video I made. Remember the video? 60 FPS versus 30. And in the video, because this is when the YouTube player updated with 60 FPS, it shows you an example of 30, then an example of 60. So it is 60 FPS and it is 30 because I'd limited the frames. And people are like, there's no difference. What is this all about? And I'm just like,
No, listen, the problem was that you even said it in the video at the time you had to have Chrome, and I'm pretty sure like half the people saw it.
Oh, because they're idiots.
Like, I can't see the difference. Yes, because you didn't follow the instructions, did you? You're not a very smart man.
But what I will do is I'll leave an abusive comment, because that will fix my situation.
I'm watching this in Internet Explorer 5, and for some reason it doesn't seem to be working properly. Well,
I've done something similar when I was playing Dark Souls 1, because in order for you to do jumps properly in Dark Souls 1, you need to be running at 30 FPS.
Oh yes,
so
I remember this, because
DS-Fix
and climbing ladders, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. With DS-Fix, you can actually change the frame rates whenever you want. So I was like, so for those people that say that there's no difference, here you go. I press a button. This is 60 FPS. This is 30 FPS. There's a huge freaking difference. And the same thing. People were like, I can't see the difference. And I'm like, well, you need to get your fucking eyes fixed then. You need to go to the eye doctor because there's something wrong with you.
Come here. Yeah, I'll show you guys that, because I've got an amazing webcam set. You see that? I'll fix your eyes with this. This is my little craft knife thing I've been playing with.
But it's like, I'm not even someone who's like a PC Master Race elitist. I like playing on consoles, and I can still tell people, look, there's a big difference between 60 FPS and 30 FPS. I'm sorry, it's just a fact of life.
It's weird when people say they can't see it. It's like, but
I can't see it.
It is literally visible in front of you. You can.
Don't you have like? Aren't you using contacts, Kiri, or something? Don't you have like eye problems?
Yeah, no, I just haven't got my glasses on because I get glare off.
Yeah,
which means
but like,
I can't see a damn thing.
So basically, Kiri is damn near blind as a bat, and he can still
even I can see the difference between 30 and 60, and I can't see anything.
60 FPS. So if you can't see it,
I get a headache recording HOTFIX, not wearing my glasses, and even I can tell the difference.
That's
so if
dedication,
you can't, then you're in ruins. You're even worse than me.
No, I can see because I'm looking at you, and you're squinting like so hard.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. But if I have my glasses, it's like you get kind of a weird green glow in one lens.
It's
and
not too bad. Whatever.
No, it looks shit. I'm not having it.
Hulk eyes, it's fine.
But I don't wear my glasses either for this, and maybe I should, but I'm not blind. I can see still, so that's kind of a bonus. Yeah. So Witcher 3 is a game of magnificent worth, and everybody agrees, and everybody should go and buy it, and that is the decree that has been laid down by the Council of HOTFIX.
Pretty much.
I'm just looking at what else we've got here, which these are kind of scraping the barrel for news. We've got the thing on Double Fine gets rights back to Iron Brigade, but I don't like talking about Double Fine because Tim Schafer blocked me on Twitter because I called him an arsehole.
You called Tim Schafer an asshole?
Only because he is one.
Because he is one, yeah.
He blocked me as well.
You as well? I'll show you. I'll bring it up. Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure it was because we were talking about was it Broken Age or
Molyneux. We're talking about Molyneux.
Yeah, we're talking about Molyneux. Yeah.
No,
that was it.
Kirill explained why we called him an arsehole. It's not like we just turned him and called him an arsehole.
No, we were talking about
I thought you guys legitimately just went on Twitter and like, hey, Tim Schafer, you're an asshole.
Oh no, it was in a video.
No.
Well, no, I may have said it on Twitter. I didn't link it to him, but I have said it on Twitter before. But we were talking about Peter Molyneux and the whole goddess thing, where it's like, you know, it's been a decade in development and it's still bollocks, or however long it's taken. And we basically said, well, I mean, Tim Schafer's no better, really, because all he does is constantly mismanage money. Then he asks for more money, and then he pushes out games that are half finished, and people don't like him for it. And perhaps he should actually, you know, try and produce a game wholly instead of producing it in 3 parts because he doesn't know how to spend money correctly during development. And it's not like he hasn't been doing it for the past God knows how many years. Therefore, he's a fucking idiot. And then he blocked us on Twitter for that, which is, I mean, in fairness, we're only speaking the truth. And he did completely fuck it all up. And he should be called out for it. But there's no need to block people on Twitter, is there? And I also did say that on Twitter repeatedly.
And also,
so that's probably why he did it.
Didn't like at some point in the middle of the development of Broken Age, while the Kickstarter was still going on, it was like, we're also going to make this other game now.
Oh yeah,
called Massive Challenge.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? You have
the biggest problem was
you have the biggest at the time. It was the most successful Kickstarter in history, and you want more money? Like, what is wrong with you? You asked for a 10th of
they
what
wanted
you got.
more money for that project as well, not just a different game. They came back and were like, actually, we need more money. And that's why we went crazy. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We took in millions of dollars and then we spent it and we've run out. It's like, are you a fucking idiot? What are you doing? You've been doing this for years. What is wrong with you? And then he gets offended about it because, oh god.
And to be honest, from what I can tell, most people don't even think that game's that amazing because, let's just face it, adventure games these days, I mean, only if you're a hardcore fan, and I can understand, people that are a hardcore fan of those point-and-click adventures games, that's great. But to be honest, if you're really that big of a fan, here's another publisher I can give you, Daedalic Entertainment. They got tons of that stuff, okay? You don't have to turn to Tim Schafer for $3 million. You can just go to Daedalic Entertainment. They have Deponia. They have, I don't know, they have just so many of those titles. It's insane.
I used to like point-and-click adventure games. Some of my earliest games were like Day of the Tentacle and fucking Full Throttle, and then, God.
If you like that kind of stuff, like the people who are doing it now is Daedalic Entertainment, and they're super nice guys, by the way. I really like them. I had a presentation with them for their RPG when they made an RPG Blackguards, and the first thing they tell me is like, okay, so we have this character who is a crazy pyromaniac dwarf, and I was like, oh, I'm sold. There's just this crazy dwarf that wants to burn shit up, and I'm like, that's great. That's amazing. Well, yeah, Daedalic Entertainment are the ones to go to for that. I don't think it's Tim Schafer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's been Tim Schafer for quite some time.
This is my professional opinion.
Just like,
and Daedalic Entertainment isn't coming out every day like, oh man, we need a Kickstarter because
we need more money.
Because they actually know how to manage money, apparently.
Yeah.
So that was another bit of news, which isn't really news. We're not going into detail on.
There is one that I said to you earlier, which I only included because it made me laugh. No. Man says we burned him out of his home.
Oh, I never clicked on that.
Just like
man says we. What? I'm going to Google this.
It's Wii. It's Nintendo Wii.
We burned.
Like spontaneously
we are very dangerous.
Combusted.
Okay, it's a very dangerous console. I have witnessed it first choice. A piece of my desk has been destroyed by someone playing with my old Wii in my house.
A Colorado. What? So a Colorado man who lives in his RV says his Wii burned it and everything he owns. And then there's a picture above of what looks like. Well, it's still got the cables attached, and it is literally a melted Wii. So they're going to have to X-ray it to determine if it was the source of the fire.
Is that an Xbox by it as well? Or something? There's like a 360 behind it, which isn't burnt.
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
How has that survived then, if it was intense?
Clearly, it's made with better materials than the Wii, because first of all, it didn't set itself on fire. And secondly, when stuff was burning around it, it still didn't go on fire, so...
I know that there was a problem with the Wii with its disc tray, that sometimes the discs would start like they would hit against something and they would be scratched and shit. Like I fixed mine. I literally took it apart and I wedged a little piece of paper, a tiny little piece of paper onto this portion of the Wii, and it never broke again. It was perfect. Okay.
God. I thought you were going to say it was like firing the discs out at like massive speed. Oh no, little Johnny's been killed.
Well, it spins so fast that it creates sparks, sets fire to the Wii, and then it ejects it at your face. It's just like boom.
Call of Duty, the next Call of Duty's new weapon, a flaming Wii. It chucks out flaming discs.
God.
Jesus Christ. So that great bit of news there, Mr. Kirioth, for fucking hell.
I want a follow-up. I want the follow-up where it's actually confirmed that the Wii spontaneously combusted, because that's... I just don't understand how that's even possible.
Well, where was this happening? Like, it was in a trailer, but in which region? I'm assuming it was
Colorado. It was Colorado.
So isn't Colorado hot as all hell?
Well, yeah, but I'm assuming
Colorado is hot as hell, inside a trailer, probably with no AC, probably with a Wii that is old as all hell and dusty as hell inside. But I don't think it's that hard for it to spontaneously combust.
Then again, it's like, this is like a rare enough occurrence that it's turned up on the news. So it's
but bloke, this is American news and it's garbage. I mean, what is this? It's like News at 11 from somewhere. I mean, what the hell is KKTV? Is that American? I've just slammed them.
Flux TV?
Well, I'm assuming so, yeah.
Yeah, it must be. I don't know.
All other possible sources of ignition have been ruled out. So there you go. Unplug your Wii because it will spontaneously combust and burn your house down. That's the official recommendation. Been plugged
in all the time. Never burn my house down.
You need to unplug it right now. You need to unplug it right now. It's going to go any second.
I'll take the risk. I trust Nintendo.
I've never had anything explode on me. Like any electrical stuff, explode.
That's because nothing is supposed to explode on it.
Oh shit, it's exploded. Oh no, I might have had a GPU that exploded once, I think.
I probably burned a couple of things. I definitely burned PC parts for sure by doing something wrong with them.
No, I don't think I've had. No, I've not had.
No, I did. No, I did. It was an old Radeon GPU I had when I was a kid, and I thought I could make the cooling better on it, so I took the heatsink off it, right? And I can
make the cooling better.
Yeah. Because I think this is when I first worked out how to do overclocking. I was like, so I'm like this fucking pleb who don't know what he's doing. I must have been about, I don't know, 13. I was completely clueless. I don't know what I was doing. I took it out and I took the heatsink off it and I put one of the big 80mm case fans on top of it. And I did some mental shit and then I turned it on and it
case
burned.
Fan?
I don't know what I was doing, really. I was an idiot. And then I turned it on and I think
without
the temperature.
The heatsink.
Well, no, it had another heatsink on it from a different thing. But I'd not welded, but slapped it on and put the fan on it. It was massive. I was like, yeah.
You spat on it or something like.
But it burnt out. It didn't explode. But when I turned it on, it just went
imagine
and it smelled.
Sty just
burnt.
I'll make it better. I'll make it so much better. With a screwdriver on his hand. I'm
going
to make you better, sweetie.
I don't think I've lost any sort of computer component to that. I lost the turbo intake pipe on my car, which cracked in half. That was interesting, but that's the only technological thing that's, given how much stuff breaks around me, it's kind of amazing that nothing else is gone, to be honest.
Yeah, you best not break your computer, else I'll slap you. Right. Okay, so I don't think we've got. There was some crap about Oculus Rift going to cost you $1,500 in total with a PC.
Hashtag PC Master Race.
£1,500.
Actually, $1,500 is undervaluing it by a lot. It's not as cheap. It's just undervaluing because you need
the Rift itself is about $300. They reckon
you need minimum a 980, and you won't even be able to get games on Ultra with a 980 on the Rift. You'll need probably Sly 980s or Sly Titan X's or something ridiculous like that to really get performance out of it. That's what I heard anyway.
But yeah,
$1,500 is selling it very, very short.
It's not really much news. I don't think. It's just whatever. Oculus Rift, great. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have any more news unless you guys have got anything.
Nope.
You desperately need to talk about. Rui,
play The Witcher 3.
Play The Witcher 3. Rui, sell yourself. What are you doing on your channel?
Sell myself. Well, right now I'm playing Dark Souls 2, but it turns out nobody cares about Dark Souls 2 anymore.
I like your new thumbnails though, Rui. I like you putting your little crazy face in your thumbnails.
I think what happens now is that a lot of people, they subscribe to me and then they just like to see the thumbnail pop up. They don't even see the video. They're just they see the thumbnail and they're like, yep, that's all I wanted to see. Those take a lot of work. You have no idea. I actually color balance my face and everything.
Oh, no. I was
no. I was just we don't know.
Yeah, those are a lot of work. But yeah, I'm doing Dark Souls 2, but I'm going to be doing a lot more Heroes of the Storm. That's what I really want to get into in my channel. I also do Heroes of the Storm for TGN. And yeah, lots of content for TGN because I'm working for the man now. That's it. What?
Didn't you make a video on TGN? That's 500,000 views for The Witcher.
I did. Then it wasn't just that one video that I made. I made a ton of videos.
Yeah, but give him a clap, Mr. Kirioth.
500,000
It's beautiful. You wanker, Mr. Kirioth. Yeah, no. So yeah, Mr. Kirioth, what are you doing this week? Or what have you been doing?
Very little.
Yeah, well, fuck off then. Yeah, all right then, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of HOTFIX. As I said at the start, you can support HOTFIX if you click the card link up the top corner, or there is a link in the description that goes to the Patreon page where you can throw us a couple of dollars if you like, which obviously does help the show and allows us to keep making these. And yeah, we will endeavour to keep getting guests on the show, which is the thing we really need to do to improve it, because we've been a bit crap at that in the past. Although hopefully the arrival of Mr. Ruzza is the start of a new age.
Where eventually we will replace
revolutionizing the industry one channel at a time.
You've got a long way to go. You've got a long way to go then. Jesus. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. It's been beautiful. It's been magnificent. It's been HOTFIX. And we'll catch you next time.
Toodaloo.
Really, that's what I say. Come on. Toodaloo.